What is up? Howdy, and what's the haps, fashion besties? We back. Episode 202. Did you listen last week to Mr. Andrew Warner? I mean, he is completely fabulous, by the way. He knows it. We know it. It's not a secret. I hope that you listened. He gave a lot of great tips about how to pose in photos, his accessory line, and how you can purchase one of his pins. We had a great Father's Day. I hope you've been checking out my Instagram. My husband Jonathan did win an Emmy for the Southeast. What? Whoop, whoop. John, let's get some celebration here. So I did a reel on that. I showed y'all what I wore. More pictures coming. So that was exciting. Between that, his Emmy, it's Father's Day. It has been the week of Jonathan. Okay. The week of Jonathan. Anyway, hope you listened to Andrew Warner. He was on our show about a year ago. He was great. However, I did want to bring someone back, not back because she's been here before, but I hope you listened to episode 159. I think it's 159 with Holly Pan. She is a petite style expert. I had such great feedback and comments about short girl style. I wanted to give you someone else. So that's what I'm going to do for y'all today. Today, we have somebody who is a total badass. After 20 years as an executive in fashion and beauty, Angela Foster and New Fashion Bestie is a petite style coach. Very different from what Holly Pan was and is. New person, new outlook, more information on short girl style. Ambitious, high achieving petite women hire her to create a closet filled with clothes that fit their height, flatter their body shape, and they love to wear, ensuring that they show up feeling confident and comfortable, representing their personal style and business brand. Angela Foster, petite style coach. Welcome to the Fashion Crimes Podcast. Welcome, damn it.
Holly, thank you so much for having me. I can't tell you, I have been like, since our phone call last week, I have been looking forward to this every single day. I'm like, finally, it's Christmas. It's here.
I mean, Angela, I don't even know what to tell you, but you're just like, you're a total badass. And I want you to tell the people, the fashion besties, the
Yes.
women that listen to us weekly, the women where the struggle is real. Now, I don't know if you think it's 5'3" and below or 5'2" and below. Help us out. Help a sister out.
So that's such a great question because everybody, like everything else, everybody, special little snowflake. So every brand says something else, right? 5'4", 5'3", 5'2", doesn't matter. If you have issues with things being too long, sleeves being too long, jackets being like hitting you in the wrong spot, mini skirts that end up being knee length, you're short and it's fine. We can help you.
Love that. Okay.
Yes.
So give us a brief history. Why are you the expert? Give us a
Yeah.
history, the who, what, when, where, why of you.
Right. So thanks for asking. And Holly, I wish I could say like, oh my gosh, I had this grand master plan and then I executed it beautifully and all of that. It wasn't like that at all. I had a great job that I loved and good money, good benefit, like the whole thing. Right. And it was in 2017 and I was at a national sales meeting. One of my girlfriends had just had her second baby. Her husband had just left her. And she was going through that like post baby weight body change thing. And she's like, I don't even recognize myself anymore. I used to have great style. I don't anymore. Nothing fits. Just all the things that we go through when we have body shape changes. Right. And she goes, you always look amazing. And you make it look so easy. Would you be willing to help me? And I was like, of course. And I think the thing that was so powerful, not only was she my girlfriend and I love her to pieces, but it was seeing somebody who's so smart, so talented, having so much together and just something as small as, like weight moving around, body change, like all of that could undermine her self-confidence so dramatically that I was like, of course I'll help you. So I say she was like my first client. It was, like so organic and ridiculous. I would see something, I would be like, oh my gosh, you have to buy this and wear it with this and blah, blah, blah. But we worked together for probably 4 to 6 weeks. And then her like personal circle of friends that lived in the country club that she was in was like, you look amazing. You look so pulled together. How do you do it with 2 kids and, like without a husband now and all of that? And she was like, do you mind if I give them your name? And I was like, well, sure. But I have a job, right? Like,
Hmm.
like this isn't. And then it just became one of those things that there's just something so powerful about being able to help women and seeing that transformation from maybe doubting themselves, doubting their clothing choices, not feeling awesome when they get dressed in the morning, to having them feel like they are ready to go out and absolutely slay their goals and crush their day. That is just the most powerful and amazing thing I've ever experienced in my life. And like being able to be a part of it is such an honor. So,
So, a question for you.
yes.
So,
Yeah.
I always say style is like rhythm. You got it or you don't. Are you one of those people you just got it? Did you learn it? Can you tell us a little bit about that? I mean,
Right.
did you, yeah, tell us.
Yes. I think that's a great question. And I say this to clients a lot when they're like, I just don't understand. Like, I've always struggled with this, like knowing what to wear and that type of thing. And I said, well, as far as I know, and there might be, and there's probably like a scientist listening to us right now who's going to be like, yes, there actually is a style chromosome that some people have.
Agreed.
As far as I know, though, there isn't one. And it's just like anything else, learning how to drive, learning how to play tennis, learning how to, play the piano. It's a skill that you can learn. But what happens is, and especially now with it being so noisy out there, like all of these people saying, oh, well, look at me in this outfit, buy this outfit. It's not helpful, right? Because that doesn't teach me how to dress for my body shape or how to dress for short girl size or anything like that. So I think that makes it even more confusing because then you see that and you're like, well, they figured it out and that looks great on them. Why doesn't it look awesome on me? So no, I have a 5-step Spark style method that I walk all of my clients through that really just makes it easy. And they're like, oh, that's why that leg shape looks great on me. Or that's why, midi dresses are not attractive and that type of thing. And then, like accessories and color and how to like create lots of mixing and matching opportunities and all of those types of things. So I walk them through that. And then they're like, oh, wow. I have one client, I think her testimonial is up on the website, but she's like, I had no idea how little I knew about how to get dressed. But it's true, right? Like
Hmm.
nobody, unless you were blessed with a super stylish mom, which I wasn't, I mean, like nobody ever tells you. So you're just there, you graduate from college, you get a credit card, and you're like, oh, wow, I start my job on Monday. I need 5 outfits.
Hmm.
And it's just, it's just a crapshoot. So,
I've heard that before. Well, I didn't know it looked that bad. It's because you don't know what you don't know. And it's
Mhm.
not your fault that
Mm-mm.
you don't know.
No.
I grew up like that. And if you did not grow up like that, which 99% of people did not,
Right.
why are you supposed to know what looks good on you? Why are you supposed to know how to shop? Why are you, I mean, you don't. I
Mm-mm.
mean, the
No.
same way I can't do your job, why should you know how to do mine? And I
Yep.
think there's a lot of pressure on women to be hot and sexy and look good and have it put together. And then
Yes.
you're sucker punched in the gut when you have somewhere to wear, somewhere to go, and you feel like I have 4 days to get a dress. And it's just not fair that this happens over and over. It is the
Yep.
story of, I would say, 70% of people out there
Mm-hmm.
that don't have the resources, or they're, well, I like to say, grasping at straws. Some people get it
Yes.
right, not many. Some people try and they get it. A lot of people
Mm-hmm.
try and they miss. So
Yep.
you you told us some
Oh,
short girl problems.
yeah.
You told us that clothes don't hit, it's very difficult to buy off the rack.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody comes to you and they say, Angela, you are the expert.
Yep.
What what do I need to do? How do you
Mm.
start?
So the very first step is body shape. Because honestly, once you know what to add to your closet, what to purge from your closet, and the styles that are going to look great on you, that is 50% of it right there. And
Hmm.
all of a sudden, it just becomes like such a light bulb moment. You're like, oh my gosh, that's why I love that skirt. That's why those pants are hideous, that type of thing. So, knowing what to look for and what to avoid, especially with my clients, because they're super busy. Like they don't have time to like scroll endlessly online looking for that one perfect thing or whatever. And to your point, you mentioned it earlier, panic shopping is the worst.
Hmm.
When you are pressed for time and you're desperate and you're just buying anything that you can like do the zipper up on, whatever. Like that's not going to create a closet that you actually get excited about. So yes. Did I answer your question? Body shape. Yes. Okay. And just because I want your listener, I want your listeners to really walk away with something powerful. So the whole idea, well, there's two things for petites. The first one is the whole goal is just to create the illusion of a balanced body shape, right? So that your bust and your shoulders and your hips and your thighs are similar, if not the same measurement. Some of us have that naturally. Some of us just use clothes to create the illusion of a balanced body shape, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing, and this is critical for petites, it's all about proportion. So if you get the proportion wrong, I mean, we're just vertically challenged. Like we don't have a lot of vertical real estate to make mistakes. And so when we get the proportion wrong, it cuts us off prematurely. And we could be 105 pounds and it's going to make us look shorter and wider, which is no one's goal ever. No one has ever said to me, please make me look shorter and wider, Angela. Like that's not the thing that they say. So once you get your body shape and you understand the silhouettes and the styles that are going to, like add volume to your top because you have delicate shoulders and a perky bust. Once you understand those styles and then you understand proportion, it just all of a sudden starts to get so much easier.
I think that is probably the best advice I
Oh,
have
good.
ever heard because it is so true that if you do not understand what you need for your body shape, you're already under the water.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
So if you're and tell me if you don't agree, if you're in denial about your body shape, that's your first mistake. Okay. Agree?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. If you're in denial about the support that you need, yeah, that is your second mistake. Okay.
Mhm. Yep.
Forget being short. That's the least of your problems.
Mhm.
Do you
Yep.
agree with that?
Yeah.
And do you agree that a lot of people just need to start over and they're afraid to start over? Do you agree with that?
Well, I think I'm not sure if they're afraid. I think it's just so overwhelming. Like
Overwhelming,
they,
stressed out.
yes, it's like, where do I start? And I
Right.
think that's it because, and I'm sure you have run into the same thing. My clients, it's not a lack of clothes. A lack of clothes is never an issue for them. They have closets packed full of clothes. The problem is they're not the right clothes. They don't love the clothes. They don't know how to put them together. So, but so then they look at all that stuff in their closet and they're like, where do I even start? Never mind. I'll tackle it tomorrow. Like I can't.
So I know what I tell people,
Yes.
which is I say it's an outfit formula. It's like a recipe,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
So when you're getting a recipe together, you don't just wing it and you're like, well, I hope I have all the shit for my recipe. You make sure you've
Right.
got the list, which
Yes.
is the recipe. Give us some tips on how to create an outfit for someone who is vertically challenged,
Mhm.
starting with your steps.
Yep.
What body shape, number one. Okay,
Right.
let's continue.
So and let me just expand on body shape just for a second. So when I first started coaching, and you've probably run into the same thing too, and you're like, okay, so talk to me about your body shape. How would you
Hmm.
describe it? Blah, blah, blah. They're like, oh, I'm an apple and my shoulders are too broad and my bust is too big, or oh, I'm a pear and my butt's too big and my thighs are too thick. It was always this is what I am and this is why it's bad. And clients have a tendency to really glom onto that. And I just don't think that there's a woman on the planet who can fill her mind with that kind of thinking in the morning and then leave the house and feel like I'm going to kill it today. So the very first thing that I have clients do is pick out what their favorite feature is. So is it your bust? Is it your waist? Is it your bump? Whatever it is. And we focus on flattering that the heck out of it first. So if you love your legs, then we're going to come up with all sorts of ways that fit with your personal style that we can accentuate the heck out of your legs, not in a hoochie mama way, but in a tasteful way that makes sense with your career, your, what you do in your life. That's the very first thing. All of a sudden, if you can see like the change that that makes in women when they're like, you know what, I love my legs and this skirt makes my legs look amazing, or these tights or these jeans or whatever. And then all of a sudden, then it's like, oh, okay, well, I have a little bit more around the middle that I love. So I'm going to pop on a peplum top, right? So, or whatever the situation is. So then all of a sudden, the things that you don't like about your body just become insignificant because you've spent so much effort, like, focusing on what you do love. And that's magical right there. So in regards to uniform, we talk about the styles and silhouettes that are going to add volume where you need it, or stay like clean and tailored where you don't need any additional volume. Now, if you're a balanced body shape, then we have a couple of choices. And this is, I think, especially right now with so much oversized styles going on, this is where short girls can run into a roadblock. So if you have a balanced body shape and you want to add some volume and you want to try an oversized skirt, or like, I don't know if you saw my skirt, but it has a lot of like pleating and details. So it's, it's volume today on the bottom. Add volume to the top or the bottom, but never ever both, because that's when we start to look frumpy. That's when we start to feel like I might as well be in sweatpants because this is so unflattering and that type of thing. So I really try to have my clients dial up their volume meter, like, so they really understand like what's going to add volume and what's not, and where do I want to do that too. So, and that looks different for everybody, right? And then of course you have to take in what their personal style is, what their career is like, that type of thing.
I think that is very thorough. And I think that is spot on. We have a lot of the same goals and values for our customers.
Mm-hmm,
You
mm-hmm.
mentioned the word career.
Yes.
Now, this is where I run into problems.
Okay.
I think with making people, um, that's not the right, I want to not say making people, with educating people
Mm-hmm.
on what they can and cannot wear to work.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to say, just because it's through my lens, what they should or should not wear to work.
Mm-hmm.
Before COVID, it was hard enough to
Yeah.
figure out what to wear to work,
100%.
okay?
100%.
Hard enough.
Yeah.
COVID has completely turned the American dress code for work on
Mm-hmm.
its head.
Yeah. And not for the
What
better.
what advice do you give to people who are going back to the office? And I incorporate it again with Petite style, but
Yep.
what are your go-tos about people that are struggling
Mm-hmm.
to find, career workwear, things that don't look too casual?
Yep. I This is such a hot topic. And in fact, I have a couple corporate clients that I do image and dress code work with for their teams, because it's such a situation, especially when the team members are client facing and we're talking big ticket items. The appearance is critical. You're not going to give, $15,000-$20,000 to a girl that's a hot mess, or a
Mhm.
guy for that matter too. So I think the biggest thing is that, yes, everybody came back to the office and they thought they were still on Zoom and that we couldn't see that you had yoga pants on.
It's
And like slap some makeup on, that whole
mhm,
thing. I
mhm.
think the thing that is so powerful, and I think like the majority of my clients are already like, they understand why it's important, but to know that women who are well groomed make 20% more than their peers that are not well groomed, I think is a powerful message. And it all of a sudden makes any effort that you put into your appearance completely worth it. In addition to all of the ramifications it has on everybody else, you're perceived as more responsible and smarter, and you're more persuasive and all of that. So, I mean, image really is such a powerful thing. The two things I typically say, especially in my corporate trainings, is this: look at a coworker who's well respected and who is on, like the path to get promoted. What does she wear? Does she wear a suit every day? Does she wear, I don't know, does she wear like a skirt and a top and a third piece, whether it be a cardigan or a duster or whatever. So look to somebody like that. If you're really looking to get ahead in your company or just in your career, look to somebody who's the next step above you and dress like them. Whatever that looks like. There's always, and it might not even be like your direct supervisor, but there's some manager, executive, C-suite, somebody in your company that is well respected, thought of, and has, moved her way up. Look to her and what she's wearing. You always want to be better dressed than the worst dressed person, right? I mean, the thing about it is if you're the worst dressed person, they're going to say she's the worst dressed person in the entire department. If you're the best dressed, they won't even talk about it because you always look amazing and you look like you have your stuff together. The thing I always think about is, if I'm looking to hire somebody and she didn't even bother putting an effort into what she has on, how much of an effort is she going to put into my account or into her job or anything else? There's just that. I mean, like it or not, we make judgments about that stuff. I mean, it's human nature. And so, I mean, and those things they happen so fast and they happen subconsciously, and it's really hard to change them once once that decision has been made. So,
Yeah, and I think that people don't realize that they're harsh critics. I know I am the worst critic
what?
because you know, I expect you to want to look your best. Not everybody's there yet. I get it. It's important to know that a lot of companies are requiring people going back into the office at
Yep.
least 3 days a week.
Yep.
So
Yep.
if you have a flexible dress code, good for you. That's great.
Mhm.
However, with that being said, I think it's important to put in that effort because most people don't. It's going to make you stand out anyway. You
Yes.
know,
Yes. And
that's
just,
what I say.
I love that. Yes, absolutely. And the thing about it is just because you can wear something doesn't mean you should wear something. And you just have to keep your career goals in mind. And what do you want that career to look like?
I,
So,
I love I love that. Let's switch gears for a second.
okay.
Is it a myth or is it true
Yes.
that if you are vertically challenged, that you should wear a heel most of the time when you're in a setting where you want to be of power or authority?
So there was actually an article about this in the Wall Street Journal, and it was called Height Equity. And they had interviewed a bunch of petite businesswomen in regards to heels. And they all said unanimously, wearing a heel because I'm short makes me feel more powerful. I walk into the room differently. Do all of my clients wear heels? Of course not. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, it depends upon the situation. For me, I've always worked in a very female dominated area, industry, that type of thing. So have I ever felt like, I mean, occasionally somebody will tower over me, but it was rare, right? Like we were all like in the same ballpark. So a lot of it depends on the industry. But when you're making a presentation in the boardroom and, 90% of the attendees are men, I can see where that would make it so powerful. I do have clients who wear nothing but heels, but it's up to them, right? And it doesn't matter. We can work around it, but there is a powerful thing there.
Next golden question,
Yes,
which I have this problem a lot. What do you
yes,
say to your women, your clients that have feet problems? It seems like I don't know anyone who doesn't have feet problems.
yep,
What do
yep.
you say to that?
Well, it depends on what it is. I I'm a big believer in if it's a problem and it can be fixed, let's take care of it. Like, let's not just keep letting it get worse and worse and worse. But it does happen, especially as women get older, the whole bunions thing and all of that. It doesn't have to be. And I think sometimes when we're talking about shoes and we're talking about heels, they're like, oh my gosh, they have to be big platforms or they have to be big stilettos and that type of it absolutely doesn't have to be. In fact, I did an article and I'm trying to think, I think it was back in the springtime, about kitten heels. I mean, any kind of elevation when you're small is going to add, up a feeling of empowerment, and you walk different and your shoulder, your posture is different. So it doesn't have to be a, hook or heel.
A monster. Yeah.
Yes.
I always say if you have feet problems, you should be wearing a wedge. And it doesn't have to be a
Mm-mm.
large one, it has to
Mm-mm.
be some sort of effort or nod to that, because the minute you start wearing, shoes that look like they're made for comfort, it's not a good look.
Mhm.
And it's just, again, talking about human nature and people judging you. And on top of that, if you're giving a presentation for an hour, you can suffer for an hour. Okay. If I have to suffer, you have to suffer. It is the circle of life. That don't tell me you can't wear heels for an hour and a half or
Yes.
for this one special thing. Everyone in New York walks with tennis shoes on and they put their shoes on when they get to New York.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what everybody does. Just because we're somewhere else doesn't mean you can't do that too, is the
Hmm.
point.
Yep. Yep.
So I just, I gotta suffer, right? I got heels that are impractical that hurt, but I either sit down a lot or don't wear them very long.
Well, and the other thing too is I feel like sometimes we'll try a couple of different brands and be like, those are uncomfortable, these are uncomfortable. And then we're just like, okay, give up. I'm gonna go wear dance coats. Is that what they're called? You know what I'm talking about, the
Oh, of
hospital
course.
shoes. Okay. I couldn't remember if I had the name right or not, but I was like, it's close to that. We just give up. I completely believe, and I believe this from working with so many clients. It's the same thing with like finding clothes that fit and alterations. I believe we will find a brand that's perfect for you, that requires very little alteration. If we look
Okay,
hard enough, we can't try, we can't just go to Macy's, try on whatever they carry and then say, oh,
right.
never mind. Like we have to, but I think that's where you and I come in, right? Because we have a bajillion brands to choose from and we know where to look for different things and that type of thing. So
Do you agree that if people, if you look at yourself and you're like, okay, I'm short, that most people aren't walking around saying, she's short, she's short. I think it's how you carry yourself, like you said, how you dress. I
yes.
don't know anyone who I'm taller than. I don't know one person. I really don't. So, do people walk around saying, Holly's so short? No. So, I think it is a state of mind. Can
It
you elaborate on that a little
Yes,
bit?
absolutely. Listen, we all know short girls with huge personalities that we notice their confidence, their outfit, their hair, how great they look, how powerful they come across, and we don't even think about their height. So, you know, there's that. However, short or tall, it doesn't matter how tall you are. If you don't feel like you look good, if you're insecure about your body, if you think though, like that skirt makes your butt look, humongous or whatever, if you have all that negative mind chatter, it doesn't matter how tall you are, you're not going to walk into the room in your most powerful state.
Can
So,
you can you give us some, do you have an accessory formula that
oh,
you can share with us?
yes,
And I know this can apply to anyone, but it's just, specifically
sure.
because I think you're petite. So you tell
Yeah.
you
Yep.
tell us, oh petite one, share
So,
your wisdom with us.
right. So yes, I'm petite. I'm almost 5'1". And this accessories can, well, number one, pull an outfit together in the most beautiful, simple way. So they are super powerful and it's critical. You don't though, but until you know how to dress for your body shape and you're like what pants look great on you, accessories can fall by the wayside because they're not going to make a bad outfit great. They'll elevate a super outfit. And this probably applies to everybody. Number one, you have to look in a full length mirror. In fact, I just did a video for my YouTube channel about handbags and how I love to online shop. There are a few things that you must go into store and actually try on before you buy. And handbags are one of them. Accessories are another thing. Because, I mean, petites, they can be, thin, curvy, anywhere in between. Um, a lot of it has to do with how curvy you are. The curvier you are, the bolder, bigger, more statement accessories that you can get along with. Same thing with handbags. If you're thin and short, you have to be very, very cautious. Whatever the situation is, whether it's earrings, whether it's shoes, whether it's a handbag, put the outfit on and look in a full length mirror and don't be all up in the mirror, right? Like step back so you can see yourself, you know what I mean? So you can see yourself from the top of your hair to your feet. and really give yourself, like, use your critical eye and say, okay, if this girl was walking towards me and if the very first thing I noticed was her ginormous handbag that looks like she has everything that she owns in it, it's too big. You need to go smaller. Like, we all love a good size handbag and it has to be practical. On the flip side though, if it's the only thing that people see when they look at you, it's a problem. So we have to be like, do we really need to have a tote bag that's, like as big as my head? No, we don't. So
Um, will
same thing,
you will
earrings. Yeah.
you agree with me?
Yes.
I'm asking you to agree with me. If I see
Yes.
one more person at the air, one more woman at the airport with a backpack on, I'm gonna cut someone. I'm just gonna cut someone because it is, unless you have a beautiful leather, expensive, gorgeous backpack. Okay. I think it's inexcusable, especially if you're short, because then it's hanging down to your butt to carry a backpack. Really, I mean, a lot of people travel with it or to work
Mhm.
or whatever. Can you please back me up on that?
100%.
Thank you.
And I will also go so far, since you brought up the airport, this is not my fault, this is yours. Since you brought up the airport, it's almost like the whole dress code at work thing, right? Why can't, I mean, traveling can be fun. It's usually not that much fun though. So why can't we have an amazing outfit on so that we feel great? So that at least if we're schlepping through the airport behind, people in their pajamas and slippers, at least we can be like, oh, I feel so good. I look so good. I just think I look at those, like you'll see like what was it, the Con Air or something, and you looked at back then they were what, stewardesses, and they have the
Mhm.
hat, the scarf, and it's so glamorous. I just think our life is missing glamour.
I think you are 1 gajillion% right. Flying used to be such a luxury. It's just not
Right.
anymore.
No.
And you want to feel good about yourself, take your ass to the airport. Okay. But you want to build up your self-esteem, go to the airport and what, and a lot of people are dressed. A lot of people look, very good, but a lot of people don't. And every time when I'm in that line, I'm like, she looks great. She looks great. She needs work. She doesn't own a mirror. And I don't know why no one has a, she, I did an entire podcast going back to your mirror comment about, if you don't have a mirror, we have a big problem, because I can't tell you the amount of people that either don't have the right mirror, they have a half mirror and they try to get away with that, or they have a shitty mirror, which if you touch the glass and it's wonky, that means the mirror is cheap and the glass is distorted. That's what that means.
And
So if you have a mirror and you press on it and the image doesn't move, that's a decent mirror. And if you don't have a good mirror, how on the planet are you supposed to see what
mhm,
you look like? And that
mhm.
was your point. I just
Yep.
reiterated that.
I love that. I love that. I'm going to steal that next time somebody asks me that
Steal
question.
it. Steal
Oh,
it.
I
I,
absolutely
I,
am.
I just, and I cannot tell you the emails I got back. You called me out. Why
Oh.
you have to call me out like that? I didn't realize my mirror was not good until you told me. If you buy a $10 mirror, that's a shitty mirror. It just is. And there's nothing wrong with that. Put that in your child's room. Nobody, it doesn't matter. You need a decent, beautiful
Mhm,
mirror where you
mhm.
can say to the top of your hair,
Yep.
all the way to your feet with adequate lighting, may I add.
Yes. Yep. Agreed. Agreed.
Don't
Completely.
don't be getting dressed in the dark.
Well, no.
Don't do that.
No.
Don't do that.
No. Mm-mm.
Okay. We have really trailed off topic from Petite style, and I apologize for that. I want you to bring us back.
Okay.
Give us one more hot tip, a mantra that you live by, something that I did not realize you're 5'1".
Mhm.
I am taller than you. This is the first person I've ever met who I'm taller than.
I love it.
So give us one thing that you live by that all the vertically challenged women out
Mhm.
there can relate to you? Throw us a bone here.
Okay. So and this is probably not what your listeners are going to want to hear, but until you understand dressing for your body shape, until you understand the holes in your closet, don't shop. Like we just is so, and I don't know if it's just our age or if it's our culture or whatever, but like clients will go into their closet and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I have so many clothes and I have nothing to wear. Oh, I'm going to go buy more clothes. Okay, well, please don't, right? We're just like, we're not helping. And honestly, at this point, we're just wasting money. When a client starts working with me, I tell her not to shop and not to purge until we're through the 5 steps. We don't know. You know what? You might have an amazing wardrobe. We just need to put it together different. Or you might just be missing some basics that you just need to make things more flexible. We don't know where you're at yet. So no shopping, no purging. Because I've had clients before that've been like, oh my gosh, I just got rid of a skirt just like that. That would have been perfect. And I'm like, yes, yes. So don't until you're and then be purposeful when you shop. I just posted today and it was don't drink and shop. Like don't do it. We've all done it though. Like I just did
I
it. I
call it
mean,
emotional shopping, where you have a couple glasses of wine and you can't
yes.
go to sleep. And so you start, don't do that.
Yes. No, no.
Don't do
I
that.
no, I just did it. I told a story about how I'm putting the like when the wine comes out at night, I'm putting the phone away and I am not like no Pinterest, no nothing, no shopping. Just you don't make good decisions a half a bottle into
No. And
no.
I love people that sign up with me and they go, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get rid of some things. I'm like,
Not
don't touch
me.
anything until
No.
I get there, because
Right.
they panic. They
Mhm.
panic.
Oh
It,
yes.
they flip out, they panic. Oh, I'm going
Yes.
to, because they're embarrassed. But
Hmm.
that's the whole point, is to lay all the cards on the table.
Yep.
And so we see what you got, because it might not
Yes.
be as bad as you think it is.
It's never as bad as they
It
think it
never
is. It's
is.
never as bad as so yes, 100. And the other thing that I love, not to go off on a totally different tangent, but is, oh, I definitely want to work with you. I want to lose 20 pounds first.
Oh yeah, I get that.
And
Oh
I'm
yeah, for
like,
sure.
and I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, well, it's easier to lose weight when you feel great.
Yeah, I love that. It is easy to. I always say that when I'm done with you, you're not going to feel like you need to lose weight.
That's
That's what
exactly
I
right.
always say.
Hmm.
So
Yep.
this has been so helpful.
Oh, has it really? I'm so
Yes,
glad.
this has been so helpful. And I hate to inform you, but we're not done here. So we have gone way over time,
Oh, have we?
but we're going to have you back, because
Oh,
we're going to talk about petite style coaching more. You're going to
mhm.
give us some more suggestions. We're going to talk about bathing suits. We're going to talk
Oh,
about other stuff. So,
love it.
this, and so no one drives their car into a ditch. We're going to stop now. Okay. But we just became best friends. This has been
Yes.
incredible.
Oh,
Can you please
good.
share your social media and how we can find you so we can talk to you more?
Absolutely. I would love that. So, first things first, LinkedIn is my jam. I hang
Oh,
out there. And I do have a special gift. And honestly, it makes sense because we talked about body shape so much. I have a body shape quiz. So, if your listeners go to angelafoster.co/Holly, it will take them to the body shape quiz. And we'll start like scratching the surface as to what your body shape is, where you want to add volume, where you want to avoid it, some styles and silhouettes that look great on you.
I I don't know how our day can get any better.
I
Who
don't
knew
either.
who knew we were getting a free quiz? I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. And thank you so much from all the fashion besties. Everything is just going to blow up. I'm so excited. And, I would like to reiterate, I'm a stylist. You're a stylist. It
Mhm.
doesn't matter. We have different clients. We have different working
Yes.
methods. We
Yep.
are women supporting women. People might
100%.
say, I love your podcast, but I don't like you. I like her. And I might say, here's her number, call her. Nothing would make me happier. Like I have totally said, if I'm not the person for you, I know 10 other people that you can work with.
Yes.
So please
And
reach out to Angela and tell us where you live if you don't mind.
oh, yes, I live in South Florida. in Fort Lauderdale. So it's super hot. And
All the Floridians, reach out to
yes,
Angela.
absolutely. Absolutely. No, I totally agree. Just to like dovetail off that real quick, because I know you said we're over time, but my goal, and I believe your goal, is also to make every woman we touch feel confident and comfortable in her skin and happy. And no one person can do it on her own. Like we need a whole army of stylists and coaches and things like that so that we can touch as many women as possible so that we have such a feeling of confidence and all of that. So
Amen. And everyone who knows me knows I can't do my hair and makeup, and I keep those people in business, and they're like, "Okay." And they're like, they know I can't do it. They do it so much better than I can do it.
Mhm.
Why? No. I'm like,
Right.
lipstick, it goes here. Eyeshadow goes there. Like I don't have the skill. Sure, I can watch videos. Yes, I'm better than I used to be. I will say that. But it's just I don't enjoy it, and I love it when people do my hair and makeup. So it's the same thing
It
with
is.
getting dressed. You're
Mhm.
great at a lot of things. If your short girl style is not up to par, give Angela a call. Do it.
Thanks, Holly.
What's your
Thank you.
website? What's your website?
It's angelastylecoach.com.
Okay, awesome. All
So
that's going to be in the show notes. We
perfect.
love you so much. We are so
Ditto.
grateful for your time, your energy, your tips. I
Yay.
mean, you are a wealth of short girl information, and we would love to have you back.
We
So,
would love to come back. Thanks.
all of this information is going to be in the show notes. Angela Foster, thank you so much for joining us on the Fashion Crisis Podcast. Y'all, make sure you listen up next week. We've got a whole women supporting women series, and Angela just slid right into home base on that. And we're going to be back next week with a lot more information. So please, please, please sign up for our newsletter if you haven't already. Make sure you tell a friend. Make sure you tell someone you need a better mirror. Okay. You need a better mirror. And if you have not bought my book yet, Stop Making These Fashion Mistakes, please do so. And then I'm going to give you a shout out. Okay. Y'all have a fashionable, fabulous week. This has been Holly Cates, your hostess with the mostess. And as always, one of your favorite personal stylists. I don't know. Angela might be your favorite now. I don't know. But
I
tune in
doubt
next
it.
week. We'll see you next week. Bye.